Hello, this is Ryan from Now Gamer.
And this is Adam.
And this is a video about Jinx, the latest champion for League of Legends. And I don't play League of Legends at all, so Adam Barnes, take it away. This is all yours.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk a little bit mechanically about her abilities first, just explain what they do, why they're good, things like that, and then I'm going to explain a little bit about how she's to play. So her first ability, her Q ability, is Switcheroo. That basically allows you to toggle between two types of weapons, the minigun or the rocket launcher. The difference here is that the minigun will build stacks of attack speed, and the rocket launcher will has a longer range but does AoE damage. So the idea being that you toggle between the two to increase your speed, keep it as fast as possible, and then switch in to deal damage to minions or even champions over quite a big range. A W ability is Zap, which also has quite a long range. It's good for poke and things like that. It's attack damage based, and you get quite a large buff based on how much your attack damage stat is. That's your W ability, and you use that to basically keep people at bay. But also it has quite a long slow on it. So if you see people running away, it's quite a good ability to chase people down with. Her E ability is Flame Jumpers, which lets you basically place 3 traps down in a fairly short range. This is basically just a utility ability, so you probably want to max that last. But the benefit to it is that it'll detonate after a couple of seconds, which will slow people after a while. But if they walk into the trap, one of the 3 traps, it will stun them for quite a while. It's good for team fights. It's good for locking people down. And combine it with Zap, it's good for basically everything. Her ultimate, which is the brilliantly named Super Mega Death Rocket.
I still don't believe that's his real name, but anyway, I'll take it.
It's a global ability, so you can fire and forget if you really want to. It's got AoE damage. It's kind of like Ashe's ultimate in that it'll attack anyone from across the map. It's good for finishing off weak champions. It's good for assisting in team fights if you're not there. It's good for everything. It's good for any opportunity you can use it. It's certainly worth it. It's got quite a high cooldown, as most ultimates do, but nonetheless it's still a pretty interesting ability to use with it.
I mean, obviously I know nothing about League of Legends, but what kind of players do you think will enjoy using Jinx?
I think a lot of people will get a lot out of her, even if you're an expert or not. I think she's quite a good character in that she's quite easy to pick up. A lot of her abilities make sense. They don't require a lot of kind of manipulation. Like Vayne, for example, she's a fairly tricky ADC, but Jinx can kind of be picked up by most people without really having to worry. And that's I think her real benefit. But she's a lot of fun to play, and I think a lot of the better players will get a lot out of her, because how you use those abilities is really important.
How much time have you put into her so far? Because I know she's only just come out.
She came out this very recently, but I've put about 4 hours playing into her, so I'm not an expert by any stretch, but this is actually my first game that I played, and I think I ended with 10 kills, 0 deaths, however many assists, so did pretty well.
Just showing off now.
Yeah.
I know we were talking before about League of Legends champions, and you said that when Riot Games releases new ones, they tend to be overpowered, or OP as the term is. Is that the case with Jinx?
Yeah, she is OP, but
in what sense though?
In the sense that all of her abilities are built in such a way that she's going to kill you. She has range, she has attack speed, she has a slow, quite a powerful slow as well. It's also got a lot of range. She's got a powerful ultimate. She's got a lot of escape options. She's just built in such a way that anyone will be able to use it quite well and not really have to rely on skill too much. Like I said before, she is someone who will benefit from a skilled player, but that's true of any champion. She really is basically built in such a way she'll decimate whether she gets early feed or not. I think she's going to become quite popular, I think.
Is there much of a learning curve involved with her?
Not at all. I mean, the trick to her is learning how to use switcheroo and when to switch out to your rocket launcher. But that's as much as it gets, really. I mean, your zap ability is a skill shot, so you have to make sure you connect with it, otherwise it's useless. But the cooldown isn't so great that it's a lost cause if you waste it. But apart from that, she's not really particularly tricky.
Have you fought against any players using her yet?
No, but I have fought against people trying to use her in my team, which I thought was quite funny because she seems quite popular, but weirdly I haven't yet gone up against her. Yeah, so she's a difficult. She's an interesting one, more than difficult, in that I think a lot of people will ban her early on in things like draft picks and all that. But I don't think she's necessarily. I think it's the case that Riot obviously want to make someone who's powerful. I'm not going to be cynical about it and say they're doing it just to make more money, but I think she will be popular.
That's not what you said the other day.
I just said it then. But she's a good fun character. Obviously she's ADC, that's how she's built. I don't often play ADC, I tend to play jungle. But I can see myself playing Jinx quite a lot. She's very speed driven, so I haven't explained her passive, but her passive is get excited, which basically means when you've helped or finished off an enemy tower or champion, you'll get a massive speed boost. It's on temporary, but it's enough to either escape or charge in to finish another enemy off. The amount of times I've used it on say I've been chased by a team of 4 and I'm the only one left, I've finished off a weak enemy, even though there's been an entire team ready to pounce on me. I've used that to gain a speed buff and then escape. So she's an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see how the pro gamers and the live streamers take to her. I'm sure they're doing as much as we are now.
God, I really have no idea what you're talking about at the moment. How do you think her playstyle will evolve then?
Well, they tend not to evolve drastically over the game, so most champions stay the same. What I do think is interesting is that she could, in theory, be quite a good jungler, just based on her attack speed and switching to AoE damage. She might do quite well in that particular environment. I haven't play tested that yet, so I don't know what that would be like. But I think if you built her with a little bit of lifesteal, she'd do quite well. I tend to always build Bloodthirster on her first, which basically is an item that increases your lifesteal. And I noticed it was quite a useful item to have on her because of her attack speed, so you're constantly getting a lot of health back. Saves you in a lot of fights. But her playstyle, yeah, it's quick, it deals a lot of damage. It's just fun, really.
Cool. So anything else to add? Anything that hasn't been covered already?
Obviously she's attack damage based. Her E ability is magic power based, or attack power even. I would recommend not building that, but we'll see. Some people might try it and it might turn out to be more powerful. I only use that as a utility to stun people and keep them in the fight or slow them down. So I wouldn't say it's really an important way of building attack damage. Apart from that, yeah, really good character.